It was revealed this week that former FBI Director James Comey is in fact going to be indicted by a grand jury in the state of Virginia, which just happens to be the place where Donald Trump just replaced the U.S. attorney with one of his loyalists, a woman who actually had served as one of his failed defense attorneys. And now we're getting a James Comey indictment. But there's a big problem with this, according to national security expert Marcy Wheeler. You see, the indictment was leaked to the media. Comey wasn't told, you're about to be indicted, here's what the indictment's going to be. No, the media was able to report it because somebody involved in that investigation, either an investigator, either a grand juror, we don't know at the moment, but somebody close to it leaked that information to the press. And as Marcy Wheeler points out, that is a violation of the law that could basically immediately result in these charges against Comey being dismissed, whatever they may be. Here's what Wheeler put on Blue Sky. It seems to me that leaking Jim Comey will be indicted before he is indicted is a 6E violation. Not that I want MSNBC's sources harassed, but add to it the list of things Comey can complain about if this actually does get indicted. Now, Rule 6E in the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure makes all grand jury information confidential and secret. It is illegal for government agencies or grand jurors to release such information, the Department of Justice says on its own website. So, if Comey is going to be indicted, which at least as of this recording, he has not been indicted yet, he pretty much already has grounds to get this whole thing thrown out. So bang up job there, Trump administration, using your brilliant legal minds as per usual. I mean, the incompetence of this administration is just so hilarious to me. And honestly, it's a relief. And I know that seems weird, but think about this for a second. If this administration were not as incompetent as they are, and that's the nicest way to put it, they'd be doing a lot more damage around the country. So their incompetence is what is preventing some of their worst desires from becoming a reality. And I don't care about James Comey. I have no love for the guy. I have no respect for the guy. He intentionally came out and threw the 2016 election with the announcement, oh, we're investigating Hillary again in October, when they weren't actually investigating Hillary again. They had to come out later and be like, well, it's actually not her. It's like a couple staffers maybe. But the damage was done at that point, and he knew what he was doing. But I also don't like Donald Trump just going after people because they're his political enemies. Not that Comey really was, but you get the point. So I'm kind of stuck in moral limbo because Jim Comey's a piece of garbage, but at the same time, he shouldn't be prosecuted just because Trump doesn't like him. But there's more problems. As I mentioned, Donald Trump recently replaced the U.S. Attorney for the District of Virginia. And as CNN's Eli Honig pointed out, quote, it's important to keep in mind that it's really hard to bring and prove a false statements or perjury case, because they're assuming this is perjury, saying Comey lied to Congress. People sometimes sort of say that casually, but you have to prove a couple things. First of all, you have to prove that the statement made, the testimony in this case given to Congress, was false and that it was intentionally false. That the person who made the statements, gave the testimony, lied on purpose. Now, it's real easy to get an indictment. It's not automatic, but all you have to do is go into a grand jury, convince a majority, not even unanimous, but a majority of grand jurors that you have probable cause. That's a low standard. That's much different, than what you'll need to prove someone's guilt at trial. The timing here, so important because just days ago, Donald Trump replaced the prosecutor in this office and said specifically in his post, it's because he wants Jim Comey, among others, to be prosecuted. So that's something that, if there's an indictment, I promise you Jim Comey's legal team will use that to argue that these cases are politically motivated and should be thrown out. So basically, they're going to bring an indictment. I think at this point it's pretty obvious, and it's going to be thrown out. Jim Comey is not going to go to jail. Jim Comey is not going to be punished, and the Trump administration, as per usual, is going to look like a bunch of incompetent morons, which is exactly what they are.